Hello students, now we are starting module 4 and some of topic I am taking today. So first topic is characteristic of an embedded system. No matter whether it is an embedded or non-embedded system, there will be a set of characteristics describing the system. The non-functional aspects that need to be addressed in embedded system design are commonly referred as quality attributes. That is our next topic. Whenever you design an embedded system, the design should take into consideration of both the functional and non-functional aspects. So first we will take characteristic of an embedded system. Unlike general purpose computing system, embedded system possesses certain specific characteristics, and these characteristics are unique to each embedded system. Some of the important characteristics of embedded systems are application and domain specific. If you closely observe any embedded system, you will find that each embedded system is having certain function to perform, and they are developed in such a manner to do intended functions only. They cannot be used for any other purpose. It is the major criterion which distinguishes an embedded system from a general purpose system. For example, you cannot replace embedded control unit of your microwave oven with your air conditioner embedded control unit, because the embedded control unit of microwave oven and air conditioner are specifically designed to perform certain specific tasks. And there are some other circuits, embedded system circuits, which are used in TV cannot be used for the air conditioners. That is also a case. Also, you cannot replace any embedded control unit developed for particular domain, say telecom, with another control unit designed to serve another domain like consumer electronics. Second, reactive and real time. As we know, embedded systems are in constant interaction with the real world through sensors and user-defined input devices which are connected to the input port of the system. Any changes happening in the real world are captured by sensors. Okay, these are also called input devices in real time. Real time means at that moment. The control algorithm running inside the unit react in a designed manner to bring the controlled output variable to the desired level. These are also called triggers. Okay, the event may be a periodic one or unpredicted one. If the event is an unpredicted one, then such system should be designed in such a way that it should be scheduled to capture the event without missing them. Okay, so example I can say the missiles. Okay, it must be launched at that moment. Okay, very critical. Time is very critical for the missiles. Embedded system produce changes in the output in response to the changes in the input. So they are generally referred as reactive systems. Real-time system operation means the timing behavior of system should be deterministic. When I say deterministic, it means we can determine at what time it is going to happen and what amount of time required for it. A real-time system should not miss any deadlines for task or operation because it is very critical. It is not necessary that all embedded systems should be real-time in operation. Embedded system applications which are mission critical like flight control system, anti-lock brake system ABS, which are used in cars, etc., are examples of real-time systems. The design of an embedded real-time system should take the worst case scenario into consideration. Next is operates in harsh environment. It is not necessary that all embedded systems should be deployed in controlled environment. The environment in which the embedded system deployed may be a dusty one or high temperature zone or area subject to vibration and shock. Okay, the various various environments wherein these are deployed. System placed in such areas should be capable to withstand all these adverse operating conditions. The design should take care of operating condition of the area where the system is going to implement. For example, if the system needs to be deployed in high temperature zone, then all the component used in the system should be of high temperature grade. Okay, here we cannot compromise in the cost. Also, proper shock absorption technique should be provided to systems which are going to be commissioned or placed subject to high shock. Power supply fluctuations, corrosion, and component aging, etc., are the other factors that need to be taken into consideration for embedded system to work in harsh environment. Next characteristic is distributed. The term distributed means that embedded systems may be part of larger system. Many number of such distributed embedded systems form a single large embedded control unit. An automatic vending machine is a typical example for this one. The vending machine contains card reader, a vending unit, etc. Each of them are independent embedded unit, but they work together to perform the overall vending function. Another example is ATM, automatic teller machine, which contains card reader embedded unit responsible for reading and validating the user ATM card, transaction unit for performing the transactions, a currency counter for dispatching currency to the authorized person, and a printer unit for printing the transaction detail. We can imagine here they are all independent embedded system, but they work together to achieve common goal. Another typical example for this one is SCADA, Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System, used in control and instrumentation applications, which contains physically distributed individual embedded control units connected to supervisory model. Small size and weight. Next characteristic. Product is an important factor in choosing. Okay. For example, when you plan to buy a new mobile phone, you may make a comparative study on the pros and cons of product available in the market. Definitely, the product aesthetics such as size, weight, shape, style, etc. will be one of the deciding factor to choose product. People believe in phrase small is beautiful. Moreover, it is environment to handle a compact device than a bulky product. In embedded domain also, compactness is a significant deciding factor. Most of the applications demand small sized and low weight products. Next is power concerns. Power management is another important factor that needs to be considered in designing embedded system. Embedded systems should be designed in such a way as to minimize the heat dissipation by the system. The production of high amount of heat demands cooling requirements like cooling fans, which in turn occupies additional space and makes system bulky. Nowadays, ultra low power components are available in market. Select the design according to the low power component like low dropout regulators and controller which with power saving modes. Also, power management is a critical constraint in battery operated application. The more the power consumption, the less is the battery life. That is a known fact. Okay. Let us move ahead with quality attributes of embedded system. Quality attributes are non-functional requirements that need to be documented properly in any system design. If the quality attributes are more concrete and measurable, it will give a positive impact on the system development process and end product. When I say measurable here, it means it's a quantitative one. The various quality attributes that needs to be addressed in embedded system development are broadly classified into two, namely operational quality attributes and non-operational quality attributes. Let us see one by one detail. Operational quality attributes. The operational quality attribute represents relevant quality attributes related to the embedded system when it is in operational mode, or in other words we can say online mode. The important quality attributes, okay, are first one, response. Response is a measure of quickness of the system. It gives you an idea about how fast your system is tracking and changing in input variable. Most of the embedded system demand fast response which should be almost real time. Example: embedded system deployed in flight control application should respond in real-time manner. Any response delay in the system will create potential damage to the safety of the flight as well as passenger. It is not necessary that all embedded systems should be real-time in response. Okay, there are some examples such as requirement for an electronic toy is not an all-time critical. There is no specific deadline that this system should respond within a particular timeline. Next is throughput. Throughput deals with efficiency of system. In general, it can be defined as a rate of production or operation of defined process over a stated period of time. The rates can be expressed in terms of units of product, batches produced, or any other meaningful measurements. In case of a card reader, throughput means how many transactions reader can perform in a minute or in an hour or in a day. Throughput is generally measured in terms of benchmark. A benchmark is a reference point by which something can be measured. Benchmark can be set of a performance criteria that product is expected to meet or standard product that can be used for comparing other products of the same product line. If you want an example, such as we can take wherein we check the data bit rate like Mbps. Okay, Mbps is a measurement we take or benchmark we take to check what standards we are using in communication like mobile data or any other communication media. Next quality attribute is reliability. Reliability is a measure of how much percentage you can rely upon the proper functioning of the system and what is the percentage susceptibility of the system to failure. There are many measurements here such as mean time between failure MTBF and mean time to repair MTTR are the terms used in defining system reliability. So these are the very important when you go for subjects like advanced architectures, you will see the benefit of these measurements. Okay, we will not go ahead with this one because it's beyond our syllabus scope. Okay, but these two are very important topic in the architecture. Next is maintainability. Maintainability deals with support of maintenance to the end user or client in case of technical issues and product failures or on the basis of routine system checkup. Reliability and maintainability are considered as two complementary disciplines. A more reliable system means a system with less corrective maintainability requirement and vice versa. As the reliability of a system increases, the chances of failure and non-functioning also reduces. Thereby need of maintainability is also reduced. Let us take one example. Let us say we are working on printer. Now, if an inkjet printer uses inkjet cartridge, which are consumable component, and as per printer manufacturer, the end user should replace the cartridge after n number of printouts to get quality prints. This is an example for scheduled or periodic maintenance. If the paper feeding part of printer fails, the printer fails to print and requires immediate repair to rectify this problem. This is an example of maintenance to unexpected failure. In both of the maintenances, the printer needs to be brought offline and during this time it will not be available for the user. Hence it is obvious that maintainability is simply an indication of availability of the product for use. In any embedded system design, the ideal value of availability can be by the ratio MTBF divided by MTBF plus MTTR. Next is security. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the three major measures of information security. Confidentiality deals with the protection of data and application from the unauthorized disclosure. Integrity deals with protection of data and application from unauthorized modification. Availability deals with protection of data and application from unauthorized user. A very good example for such a thing is personal digital assistants, that is PDA, can be either a shared resource or individual one. Next is safety. Safety and security are two confusing terms. Sometimes you may feel both of them as a single attribute, but they represent two unique aspects in the quality attributes. Safety deals with the possible damages that can happen to operator, public, and the environment due to the breakdown of the embedded system or due to emission of radioactive or hazardous material from the embedded product. The breakdown of the embedded system may occur due to hardware failure or firmware failure. Safety analysis is a must in a product engineering to evaluate anticipated damages and determine the best course of action to bring down the consequences of damages to acceptable level. Next is non-operational quality attributes. The quality attributes that needs to be addressed for the product not on the basis of operational aspects are grouped under this category, such as first one, testability and debug ability. Testability deals with how easily one can test his design, application, and by which means he can test it. For embedded product, testability is applicable to both embedded hardware and firmware. Embedded hardware testing ensures that peripherals and total hardware functions in the desired manner, whereas the firmware testing ensures that the firmware is a function in the expected way. Debug ability is a means of debugging the product as such for figuring out the probable sources that create unexpected behavior in the total system. Hardware debugging is used for figuring out the issues created by hardware problems, whereas firmware debugging is employed to figure out the probable errors that appear as a result of flaws in the firmware. Next is evolvability. Evolvability is a term which is closely related to biology. It is referred as the non-heritable variation. For an embedded system, the quality attribute refers to the case which the embedded product can be modified to take advantage of new firmware or hardware technologies. Next is portability. It is a measure of system independence. An embedded product is said to be portable if the product is capable of functioning as such in various environments, target processor, and embedded operating system. The ease with which an embedded product can be ported onto a new platform is a direct measure of rework required. A standard embedded product should always be flexible and portable. Next is time to prototype and market. Time to market is the time elapsed between the conceptualization of product and the time at which the product is ready for selling. The commercial embedded product market is highly competitive and time to market the product is critical factor in the success of commercial embedded product. There may be multiple layers in the embedded industry who develop products of same category. If you come up with a new design, if it takes long time to develop and market it, the competitor product may take advantage of it with their product. Also, embedded technology is one of where rapid technology is happening. Every day you get new things. If you start your design by making use of new technology, if it takes long time to develop and market the product, by the time you are marketing the product, the technology might have been superseded with new technology. The product prototyping helps a lot in reducing time to market. The time for prototype is also another critical factor. If the prototype is developed faster, the actual estimated development time can be brought down significantly. In order to shorten the time to prototype, make use of all possible options like the use of off-the-shelf components, COTS. We already discussed this one in last module, and reusable assets, etc. Now last is per unit cost and revenue. Cost is a factor which is closely monitored by both the end user and product manufacturer. Cost is a highly sensitive factor for commercial products. Any failure to position the cost of commercial product at nominal rate may lead to the failure of the product in market. Proper market study and cost benefit analysis should be carried out before taking decision on per unit cost of the embedded product. From the graph shown, it is clear that the total revenue increases from the product introduction stage to the product maturity stage. The revenue peaks at a maturity state and starts falling in decline stage. The unit cost is very high during the introductory stage. Like what you say, new model, if it is coming in market, like for the mobile, it may cost you more, but as the time passes, the cost of the mobile reduces. The profit increases with increase in sales and attains a steady value and then falls with a dip in sales. Okay, this is going to happen because new models are coming in market every day. You can see a negative value for profit during the initial period. It is because during the product development phase, there is only investment and no returns. Profit occurs only when the total returns exceeds the investment and operating cost. Write summary of this session and upload. Thank you.